Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast with Nicole and Ashley. And this month, the month of December, we will be reviewing our favorite holiday TV episodes. Stay tuned. What's your favorite Different World episode?
I don't know.
This was one of my favorites.
It was too many white people up in this episode for me.
Oh, well, it's Christmas in the dorms. See decorations, and there's this white woman in this HBCU and doing chanting. What would you call it? It was kind of loud for meditation. I think meditation is more of a quiet thing. But I guess I don't know. You can
Like
meditate
maybe
wherever you want
doing some breath work, but most importantly, just being a rude white woman, because
to.
I would think that you've never been to this place and you come in sitting on furniture.
With your
You
legs
on a coffee table, got your feet up on the people furniture. You have come into a black space. Put your feet up on furniture that does not belong to you. And you have like censored yourself in this space as if you belong there. And as much as this white woman who is Freddy's mom,
I was gonna get to that. We find out it's Freddy's mom, but her meditation or whatever you want to call it was so loud. Her chanting, her breath work was loud that the people
it's
couldn't
very
even say like, excuse me, hey, good morning, what's up?
It's a white womaning,
Okay.
being very disruptive, like just coming in the name of peace, but being incredibly disruptive and being rude and assuming that she is welcomed in this space and assuming that she can use this space for herself. She's not asking, like they might have a place where they meditate, like, hey, this is not where we meditate. Actually, we have a study group that meets here every single morning, and this is like you got your whole ass. You have your ass on the coffee table. We don't know you. We'll know you. But your ass is on our coffee table. Freddy mama, get your ass and that curly Sue wig. That's not a curly Sue wig. That's an Annie wig. Get that shit up out of here. I don't like you just off that. Bye.
So we find out it's Freddy's mother, and everyone is like, okay, yeah, we understand. You know, Freddy had this reputation of being, I guess, earthy, or I don't know, what's another word to describe Freddy?
Spiritual. Yeah. But Freddy never she never co-opted a space. Like she never she wasn't, that was the main thing that I thought, like I just thought that was rude. Freddy was never rude in that way.
True.
But I also recognize Freddy as a black woman. And I recognize her mother as a white woman.
So this part was interesting to me because you rarely see a mixed race character. The show in real life had tons of mixed race actors. Freddy, Lisa Bonet, I believe Jasmine Guy. But they all had black parents, 2 black parents. And usually on TV shows, they'll cast a mixed race actor, but place them in a black family. So I think
they still do that. They still do that. Grownish.
Yeah. I'm thinking, can you think of any other show that had mixed race characters? That was just normal, where it wasn't about, because then sometimes if they do it, then it's like, oh, this is the mixed episode where we have this trauma because so-and-so has a white parent. And this wasn't really traumatic. It was just like, oh, Freddy got a white mama. That's not.
Did the Jeffersons, did they neighbors have a kid?
This is my issue with the Jeffersons.
Okay.
They had this mixed race couple
Mm-hmm.
and had a black woman as their daughter and a Hispanic man as their son. And I'm just like,
So they
y'all
had a
could have.
kid?
They had two kids. Because the daughter, her name was Jenny. She ended up having a baby. But
That
that was
Jenny
a
looked
black
black to
woman.
me. Yeah, she
She
looked black.
was. So I'm like, y'all didn't even. Y'all could have like did a mixed race story, but I was like, this a black woman.
Freddie black?
Yes, but I'm saying if you're gonna have a mixed race parents, I don't know. I guess I'm like we said. Now they have black parents with mixed race kids, so
Yeah.
I guess it don't matter. So Freddie's mother, she is a what did I put this? A holistic psychologist.
Girl.
She that's what she said. She's a holistic psychologist, and throughout the
She is a
episode,
scam.
why should that be a scam?
You done sat up there and seen that your daughter is dating Ron.
Before we get to that part, she was teaching all the girls in the dorm to express their feelings and communication and to punch a pillow. You wasn't feeling her?
No, I wasn't feeling her because girl, you just white to me. Like you sitting up there. This is for bigotry. This is for racism. This is for Republicans. Like, bitch, we don't feel fucking better. We still gotta walk outside and deal with your motherfucking racist ass cousins, you dummy. Girl, get the fuck out of here. Like, I can't do it with Freddie.
Okay. So do you think it would have made a difference if her mother was black, but still a holistic psychologist?
I don't think a black holistic psychologist would say that dumb shit.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that part. I'm just saying in general. If Freddie's mother wasn't white, what if she had a black mother who was a holistic psychologist and came in the dorm encouraging all the girls to
I would still think that she was
communicate?
ridiculous. I would still think
Really?
that she was ridiculous. I wouldn't have the same issues with the privilege because she wouldn't have been privileged.
Right.
I don't think there's a way for a black holistic psychologist to come into somebody else's space, sit on their coffee table with their fucking nasty ass feet and like be meditating and chanting and doing breath work. I think that a black holistic psychologist off the strength of being a black woman would recognize that there are a lot of spaces where she cannot go into and perform that type of comfort because it wouldn't be safe to do. It's impossible for a black woman to go into somebody else's space and do that.
Well,
So
not
like
being
her mom gotta be
intrusive.
white.
But okay, so say if she wasn't intrusive, because my point is, I think I'm kind of grappling between this being a white woman introducing this holistic psychology, that's what she called herself, and breath work and communication. I'm thinking like a black woman could have done this without the intrusive part if she came in, and because you don't really, I know, especially back in the day, we didn't see black holistic psychologists, or that was, I mean, the 90s. People
Yeah,
thinking
but
therapy was a white people thing. So I'm thinking, what if this was a black woman who was into naturalism and herbalism and plant-based, because they were around, they just was a
they
very
were
small
around,
community.
and that's probably more than likely who taught this white woman these things. So I get your point now. I would have liked for it to be a black
A
woman.
black
I
woman.
would have really liked for Freddie to have two black parents
Really?
because I would have really enjoyed that, because I think what it would have shown was that you can have this eclectic
Oh,
person
okay,
without
and
the
be black.
and be black, because there are black people like that.
Yes, that is true. What about Whitley? Should Whitley have been the mixed race character?
I don't think we really needed mixed race characters on this show. I think it would be
Really?
ridiculous to be like there are no mixed race people in the
Yeah,
world, but
that's
I
what.
don't think that I don't think that I like that Whitley's
They
father is a
weren't.
judge. Like I like that. Isn't he a judge?
I think so. He was something important.
Yeah, like I don't mind that, you know? I don't I really enjoy that. I don't
Okay.
I don't I don't need
I
I
get
don't
I
need
get
it.
your point. I understand you don't need it, but to me it is kind of to me it's kind of crazy how people just kind of like they just pretend mixed race black people don't exist. They just throw them with black families and it's like I mean, we can explore
I
different
mean,
types
is
of
that
black
what's going
people.
on? Is that what's going on, or do they just want light skinned people to play these roles? I don't really see it as an erasure of mixed race people. I just see it as an
Well,
erasure of
true,
darker skinned actors.
true, true. I get that point, but why not have a mixed? I always wonder just why not have, or it doesn't have to be black and white. Like there's so much diversity among black people in general, African, Caribbean,
Hmm.
South Asian, whatever. Like I always just wonder whenever we see a black story, it's there's no diversity when there's so much diversity among black people.
Yeah.
It's like when who's gonna do it? I just think that would be cool to see diversity among black people. But moving on. Um Kim, Freddie, Ron, and Shaja are in this love rhombus. We I can't remember the episodes leading up to this. If I know there was a time when Kim was with Ron
Hmm.
and then Freddie is with Ron. And then Freddie was with Shaza, and then she broke up with Shaza, and now she's with Ron. And Kim is a little salty about it, but she's trying to keep the peace. And Freddie's mama is like, "What's going on? I thought you was with Shaza. I thought Kim was with Ron, but y'all swapping partners. Kim's
Hmm.
upset." So, what do you think about this Kim, Freddie, Ron, Shaza love thing? Do you think it was weird that Freddie ended up with Ron?
I don't think it's weird because stuff like that happens all the time, but I think it's fucked up. Cause they was kissing when Kim and Ron was still together.
True.
So you know what I'm saying, Freddie, you fucked up off that. And Ron, you fucked up off that. Who does Kim end up with? She end up with
She
that
was with that
Jamaican
dude with
dude?
the dreads, yeah. The
Yeah,
doctor she met in med school.
that's what I'm talking about. Cause what
He
does Ron do?
was a musician. Then I know his daddy owned a car dealership. I think he was gonna work with his daddy's car dealership, but then he decided he wanted to do music or something like that.
I know Ron had on a badass sweater. I love that little sweatshirt he had on. The black with like the colorful like graphic shapes on it. I just thought it was a nice sweater. So shout out to Ron for that, but you still a little fuck nugget. Fuck you.
Dating two friends, not
Two
just mess with
best
them,
friends who live
but
together.
yeah,
Best friends who live together. You is a dog.
but they was really like in a relationship. I'm like, it's one thing to like mess around with somebody, but y'all parading a relationship in front of everybody, and people just gonna act like, okay, yeah,
Ciao.
congratulations on this new relationship.
Freddie light skin. That's what happens. I think sometimes light skinned women think that, oh, everyone is going to be happy for me. It doesn't matter
Ooh,
what I've done wrong. My intention is good. And no one can be mad at me. I'm beautiful. I think the whiteness in Freddie is what has
her
has
mama's
caused this
intrusiveness.
lapse in logic.
The way her mama just
Dumb.
barged into the dorm, she just barged into Kim and Ron's relationship and just took over.
Exactly. Whack ass.
Why you think Kim didn't really say nothing at first
It's
of how she really
embarrassing.
felt?
It's
Yeah,
embarrassing. Like, this is happening in front of all of these students who I
true.
direct. I'm the residential director.
And
I'm,
everybody knows.
everybody knows. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is laughing, like making
Hmm.
fucking jokes. I'm single now. Who do I have to talk to? I can only talk to Whitley, who's in
And
this
Whitley a hot
dumbass
ass mess.
relationship with Dwayne, all fucked up
Okay,
ass.
we gonna get to that.
So she doesn't have a boyfriend who she can talk to about it. She can't talk to Freddie. She can't talk to the students. I feel bad for Kim. Like, this shit is fucked up, and it's Christmas time.
Okay, Whitley and Dwayne. By this time, Whitley and Dwayne, this is what, season 6, so they're married. After Dwayne interrupted Byron and Whitley's wedding. And I shared with you the conversation before about this other podcast I listened to saying how Whitley and Jaleesa, how they changed after they got married. How when Whitley, for what, 5 seasons, Whitley, she didn't really. She was a serious. I would say she was a serious student. She was about her business. Like, she majored in art buying. She had an internship. She ended up getting a job as an art buyer. But it's like when she got married to Dwayne, all of a sudden she loses her job. She can't find another job. She ends up in this episode, she's a waitress at a diner. And it's like, what happened? Like, where did this come from? Do you think they
I
did the
think that
character wrong?
there seemed to be a bit of humbling that Whitley needed to experience, but why?
Yeah. And it seemed like, and I understand even from with Dwayne's character, he was an engineer. He had the internship with Kanishiwa, but then after school, he wanted to be full time with the company, but he didn't get the position. That's when, like, Kinu was working there, but they didn't hire Dwayne. And he thought it was an issue with her, and she was like, "It's not. Leave me alone." But Dwayne still ended up as the professor in the math department. So yes, we see him. He doesn't have his dream job, but he's still decent. Like, you're still a professor in the math department. It's not what you intended. But how does Whitley go from an art buyer to a waitress? That's a big. That's
Right.
a.
Like,
That's a
I could see
big.
her being like a buyer at Nordstrom's, or like a
Yeah.
buyer at like a clothing, a jeweler. Like, I can't.
Like, you don't have your dreams. Okay, yes. A lot of us thought we was gonna work, I don't know, at what, Apple, whatever.
Yeah,
But
we
we
all
don't.
thought we was gonna come out of college making 80K. And he was
I
like,
get
wait,
it. That
what?
doesn't happen. But we didn't resort to being a waitress. No, I
Yeah.
mean, not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like there's a lot of steps you got to fall down.
Well, I mean, I have worked in like the food industry after I had a master's while I was a college instructor. I get what you are saying. I get what you are saying. I also think that there are like waiter servers who are like who make really good money.
That is
But
true.
she's not
But she
making really good
wasn't one
money
of
at this
them. Yeah,
place.
but she wasn't one
Yeah,
of them.
and but I see what you're saying, but I think that that is the show like the buying into the concept that like there is no, like, you can't take pride in a position as a server. I think that's a problem.
You
I
think?
think that's a problem. But I also think that there is there is a leap between having a position in the arts
Right.
and then working as a server. It doesn't
At a diner, because there's all kinds of servers. She could have been at a high 5-star restaurant,
I can see
but
why somebody like Whitley wouldn't want to go
oh, because she might know people
you know,
there.
like you might run into a friend of
Yeah,
your
or your
father
mama's
and it's
friend.
like,
Yeah.
whoa, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's difficult because on the one hand, I'm thinking you can take pride in in the job that Whitley has, but on
True.
the other hand, I'm like, it doesn't make sense for her to work there. But I mean, maybe because I mean, at this time, were we dealing with a recession? I feel like we were always either at in a recession or we are dealing with the results of a recession. And so, you know, when our class graduated with our
Oh,
bachelors,
that was
it
the
was like there
worst,
was like no, just like, wait,
girl.
what? Like, what's going on?
And
There
if
are
you
no
did,
jobs here.
and then when you did, like we started at a low paying wage, so it's hard to climb up from that.
Yeah. It's hard to climb up from that. It's dang near impossible if you don't have like support systems. Like I came out of college and I had to like I was homeless. Like I had to like live with a friend, live with an aunt, live with, you know, like couch surfing really because I didn't, you know, like I couldn't, there were no, I have parents but there was no like home to go to.
Yeah,
So it was just it was very difficult. But I don't know. I wonder what the creators of the show and the writers and the producers have to say about Whitley's career
because even
journey.
when she was with Byron, she was very active in his campaign, and
Yeah.
so she could have easily went down that road. Like say she would have stayed with Byron if she was very helpful. She was out there, she was doing all the work for him to get elected. Or did he
But
win?
did
I can't
Whitley
remember. But then it's like so you can see she has skills. But then when she gets married to Dwayne and it's like all of her skills just like she was someone even though she was very privileged, she knew how to get what she wanted. Like she was to me Whitley was more like she was a finesser. Like
Mhm.
she seemed like she knew how to navigate a room. That and her privilege helped her navigate some rooms. Like I don't take Whitley to be some airy character who just had no idea. She was just wasting her. She wasn't wasting her parents' money in college.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, you get married and this, and then that, and it stayed like that for the rest of the marriage. Like, because after that, she was a substitute teacher at a low income school, and it's like she just couldn't. She never got her break, so to speak.
I think that maybe Whitley's character had to find happiness without money. Maybe that was the point of her. I think she assumed maybe that she would always be pampered financially,
Yeah,
and that's just not the case. And you have to find like purpose
but she
without an
wanted to
excess
work.
of money.
Like, because I can understand, we hear the stereotype of girls who go to college just to get a man, and that wasn't her. Like, she wanted to work.
But if she worked in those fields, she would have been making a certain amount of money that would have made her dependency on money unhealthy for her. I'm thinking. Like if I believe that she needs to not depend on money so much for happiness, then she can't have a job like that because she won't be tested.
Mm.
If that, I mean, I don't, I think that, because I think that for Whitley, money is not like it's not like a survival thing. It's like this
No, it's a
helps put the
status.
bills up.
Yeah.
It is a status thing. I think she enjoys like luxury. So let
Oh
me
yeah,
say that, not
definitely.
money. Like she needs to
She
live
does
without
enjoy
luxury
luxury.
for a little bit. Maybe that's it. Like maybe that's the point. I don't know. But yeah, honey, she is working at the damn International Cup of House of Pancakes. It was like ICOP, International Cottage of Pancakes. And it's three of them up in there. So I guess it's three people and a cook. So it's Whitley, the person who's training her, and this other white woman who's the
Who
owner's
not
daughter who
working.
ain't doing a lick of work. Got the nerve to call Whitley Whitey.
Whitey.
Child. And she's calling her Whitey because her name tag
It's
is fucked up.
misspelled.
Like they're missing the L. But I mean, to call her Whitey, but like Whitley at this point cannot benefit
From white
from
privilege, yeah.
any white privilege is hilarious, when in fact this person who is calling her that
Is
is
a
the
white
main
woman.
one who is collecting a check and doing not a bit of work, and more than likely making it more difficult for the other workers,
Mm-hmm.
because if your father is the owner, they can't make any critiques of you to the owner, and you're making their job harder because you're in the way. You're an extra body who's not doing anything. So when the owner comes in and is like, this all the money y'all made? Why y'all ain't make no money? It's three of y'all up in here. No, bitch. It's
It's
actually
two.
two people up in here.
How do you feel the way, I guess, they portrayed holistic psychology? Because I feel like now we're in an era where a lot of people are digging into holistic wellness and meditation and chanting and breath work and being vegetarian or vegan. And for this to be in the 90s and Freddie's mama, this white woman, holistic psychologist, who was
Who
kind
don't
of
even
like,
recognize that her daughter doesn't want to call her by her first name. But okay.
so she's, I guess, not very perceptive, but how do you feel how they portrayed, well, her profession and I guess psychology and therapy and the different techniques she was trying to teach the girls in the dorm?
I didn't like it.
What didn't you like about it?
It felt a little self-serving. And this is
Well, I'm
not
saying in
necessarily.
general because back in the day, people always say, therapy wasn't a thing, or black people didn't do therapy, or we have an issue with like going to therapy. Some people still have an issue with going to therapy, and
Yeah.
even doing therapeutic methods are seem kind of. I mean, they're not new, but it's people are discovering them for the first time now in 2022. When this coming out in the
I
90s,
I enjoy them talking about holistic anything. Like
yeah.
that isn't necessarily the concern for me. I think that that is always a part of a conversation with any black show. I mean, we
Hmm.
talked before about how Sinclair was like, let's everyone hold this rose
But they
quartz and
made
we
fun of
can.
her for that.
They
Like she
did.
was on it,
They
but they
did.
made fun of her for that. And I feel like with this episode, they they were kind of into what Freddie's mom was doing. Some of the girls like him and who's the girl who had the boyfriend who was beating up on her? Gina. Like him and Gina, they were a little bit they were kind of receptive to what Freddie's mama
Mhm.
was trying to say. So it didn't seem like they were, I mean, they did kind of think she was kind of crazy. Well, I kind of felt like they wasn't sure how to take it. Like, okay, this might be kind of cool, but that's that stuff they do over there. That's that white people
I
stuff,
still
basically.
didn't I didn't I didn't like it because it felt too tied to so they made fun of Sinclair, but I
Mm-hmm.
also think that they're not treating this type of lifestyle well either. Cuz it seems like this person is able to do all of this work for everyone else, but she's not able to do it for Freddie,
Mm.
who really wants just time with her mother.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you didn't even call her and tell her you was coming
Yeah.
kind of is a little weird to me, you know,
Well, she
and
just
it
pop up.
doesn't.
It seemed like that's her personality. She just goes. She don't want it. She's not waiting for an invitation.
Hmm. Not do that. Okay.
What's weird is that we
Does
never
that sound
seen her
healthy?
mama in 6 years, 6 seasons. We've seen everybody else's mama except Freddie's mama.
I don't know. I think a lot of the advice that she was giving um put her in like a really maternal space
Mm-hmm.
with with these black female
Women.
characters, and all it showed was that there was a lack of balance in her life with the energy that she was putting into everyone else and her daughter.
Mm.
So I can't see. I don't know. I know sometimes people say like therapists and psychologists, they make the worst patients, or
Yeah, I can
they
see
don't
you
have
can
all
miss
of
the
the
mark
answers.
with your parent. I
Yeah.
can easily see people missing the mark with their children. Like you can be the best doctor, you can be the best teacher for other people, but when it comes to like your home, I can see
Can't
sometimes
get
you
it
might miss
right.
the mark. You're great for other people, but for whatever reason, your children aren't as receptive to you as the world is. I can see that. I do wish Freddie's had a black mother who was a holistic psychologist. You could have had a white dad. Like the dad could have been white if they
Yeah.
wanted him to be white. But I do
Which is
wish
her
they had a
situation in real
yeah,
life.
yeah. But I do yeah, that is true. She just has a black mother. But yeah, I would love to see a black woman as a therapist. I mean, they had what's her name? Debbie Allen playing the therapist in the episodes, but she was still kind of her character was was a little erratic in a way. She have her all her stuff together, and she was supposed to be the therapist for Whitley and Dwayne and Jaleesa and Colonel Taylor, and she had the one with the most problems. But I would love to see a black woman in the holistic space. That
Where
would
do
have
we
been
see that
cool.
now?
On Instagram.
Child.
Did you like this episode? Compared to like a different world
No.
episodes? No.
There is Aretha Franklin is my favorite different world. Even though
What was?
When Aretha Franklin does the theme song, that's my
Oh,
favorite
okay.
different world.
The
When I hear Boys to Men coming in with that, I love that song. Like I'm like they did. No, I like that. I like it. But when I see Jada Pinkett,
Oh, I love the new season. I love the Jada
I like
Pinkett
it too.
episodes.
I like it too. But I like to see Whitley and Freddie and Kim as the college students,
Okay.
not as the adults.
I liked Whitley as an adult.
No.
I
I for damn
did.
sure don't like Freddie as an adult.
When she slicked
Cause
her
I'm
hair
like,
back.
girl, if you don't take that eco styling gel, even though I just bought some more, if you don't take that shit, well, actually, I just bought it for the first time because I never used it. If you don't take that shit up out your hair,
She slicked her hair back. Started dating.
I cannot stand when she called that nigga my king. I'll be like, oh, it gives me food poisoning.
Light skin, light eyes, hotel
Ugh.
man. Wrote a book. Had the nerve to write a book.
Burn that book. Burn it and ban it and burn it.
I like seeing Whitley and Dwayne's relationship. I know some people have issues. I like Dwayne.
When that nigga snapped his fingers.
Oh my, you said that before. That was one time. He was not doing that all the time.
You done got that girl a fucking dog for Christmas.
They had no money.
Do you know how expensive pets are? Do you know how expensive maybe in the 90s because people didn't give a fuck. Maybe it's like now it's like these hoes is expensive shit.
They have accessories. They had no pet. They had no pet carry on that.
And then I think you were not worried about the medical experience of your dog. It's like, oh, you sick? No. Oh, well, hope you get over that.
They was eating table. They was eating table food.
There will only be one trip to the vet, and that will be to send you on to the upper room. And that's just horrible. But I'm like, now you gotta buy dog food. How much you think that dog costs?
Man, them dogs was eating table food. They wasn't even like picking up the poop. Remember, Poopa Scooper laws came out later. People just letting
that be white people not picking up after their dogs. And then some be so trifling, they'll take them little doggy bags full of shit and put it on top of a dumpster. They won't even open up the dumpster and put it inside of that. I'm like, y'all is so fucking trifling.
Nah, you don't even deserve your pet.